The gun is already pressed to Bumpy Johnson's temple. It's 4017 in the morning, December 1938. The Cotton Club's basement smells like copper and cigars. 12 Genovese soldiers form a perfect circle around him. No windows. One door. 3 dead bolts click shut from the outside. Bumpy's hands are zip-tied behind a steel folding chair. Blood drips from his left eyebrow into his white shirt collar. The man holding the 38th Special is Carmine the Butcher Galante. He's killed 47 men before breakfast in his career. Carmine leans close enough that Bumpy can smell garlic and aftershave. You know what happens to N, who steal from our trucks. Bumpy doesn't blink, doesn't flinch, doesn't breathe loud. He just smiles. Not a nervous smile, not a desperate smile, the kind of smile a man wears when he's already won. Carmine cocks the hammer. The click echoes off concrete walls. Any last words, Bumpy? Bumpy tilts his head, stares directly into Carmine's eyes. Yeah, check your daughter's bedroom. 3rd drawer, under the socks. Carmine's face goes white. His hand starts to shake. One of the soldiers whispers something in rapid Italian. Carmine backhands him across the mouth without looking away from Bumpy. You're lying. Bumpy's smile widens. Call home. I'll wait. For 9 seconds nobody moves. Nobody breathes. Then Carmine lowers the gun, walks to the wall phone, dials with trembling fingers, waits. His wife answers. Check Sophia's room. Now, 3rd drawer. 30 seconds of silence. Then screaming through the phone receiver. Carmine drops the phone. It swings on its cord like a pendulum. He turns back to Bumpy. Gun raised again. Hands steadier now. If you touched my daughter, I'll skin you alive. Bumpy doesn't break eye contact. I didn't touch her. I protected her. From what? From you. That's when the lights go out. 3 weeks before that basement, Carmine Galante owed the wrong people money. Not the Genovese family. Not the commission. Worse, he owed $12,000 to a loan shark named Moish Kleinman. Moish worked for Meyer Lansky. Meyer worked with Lucky Luciano. Lucky Luciano was the only white man Bumpy Johnson called friend. Carmine couldn't pay. His daughter Sophia had tuberculosis. The hospital bills were bleeding him dry, $50 a week. In 1938, $50 was a working man's monthly wage. Carmine started skimming from Genovese liquor shipments through Harlem. Small amounts, 5 crates here, 3 cases there. He sold them to independent speakeasies on 125th Street. What Carmine didn't know, those speakeasies reported to Bumpy. What Carmine didn't know, Bumpy was counting every bottle. By week 2, Bumpy knew exactly how much Carmine had stolen. By week 3, Bumpy knew why. Most men would have killed Carmine immediately for the disrespect. Bumpy Johnson wasn't most men. He was a chess master playing a game Carmine couldn't even see. The Genovese family wanted Bumpy dead for a decade. They couldn't touch him. Not directly. Not in Harlem. But if Bumpy killed one of their soldiers, they'd have justification. They'd burn Harlem to ash looking for him. So Bumpy did something no one expected. He paid Carmine's debt to Moish Kleinman, all $12,000. He arranged for Sophia Galante to see a specialist in Boston. He did it quietly, anonymously, through 3 intermediaries. Then he left a note in Sophia's sock drawer, written in a child's handwriting, signed with a single initial, B. The note said, "Your father's a brave man in a bad situation. I made the bad situation go away. Tell him Bumpy Johnson expects nothing but his memory." That note was a grenade with the pin pulled, because when Carmine's superiors found out about the skimming, they ordered his execution. They sent 12 men to bring Bumpy in for questioning. They thought Bumpy would confess, blame Carmine, save himself. Instead, Bumpy smiled, because Carmine now owed him something deeper than money. He owed Bumpy his daughter's life, and in Harlem, that debt was paid in blood. Bumpy Johnson never raised his voice in a room. He didn't need to. By 1938, he controlled the Numbers Racket in Harlem completely. 30,000 people placed bets every single day. Nickels and dimes from washerwomen, porters, and factory workers. People making $7 a week betting a dime on hope. The Numbers was Harlem's lottery, church, and heartbeat combined. Bumpy didn't see it as crime. He saw it as community banking. When Mrs. Henderson on 139th Street hit for $600, she opened a bakery. When Raymond Sweet Collins won $400, he paid for his mother's funeral. Bumpy took 10%. The house took 10%. 80% went back into the neighborhood. The white mob wanted to take it over for years. Dutch Schultz tried in 1935. He ended up dead in a Newark chop house. Bumpy never claimed credit, but everyone knew. You didn't conquer Harlem by force. You conquered it through knowledge. Bumpy had eyes everywhere, not soldiers, not gunmen. He had parking attendants at the Savoy Ballroom. He had shoe-shine boys outside the Lenox Lounge. He had janitors in the 28th Precinct Police Station. These weren't informants, they were shareholders. Bumpy paid them weekly, not for information, for protection. When a strange car rolled down Lenox Avenue, 6 people called it in. When a cop took money from the Italians, a janitor found the ledger. Bumpy read Marcus Aurelius by candlelight in his apartment. He quoted Sun Tzu during dice games in smoky backrooms. He told young runners, "Violence is the tax you pay for poor planning." He never carried a gun himself. He didn't need to. Bumpy's real weapon was time. He moved slower than his enemies. While they panicked, schemed, and fought, Bumpy watched and waited. He knew Carmine Galante's daughter's name before Carmine stole the first bottle. He knew the Genovese family would use the theft as an excuse. He knew they'd send men to the Cotton Club basement. He knew because he'd been 3 moves ahead the entire time. And when those 12 soldiers locked the door behind him, Bumpy had already unlocked the trap. Harlem in 1938 didn't sleep. It pulsed. Small's Paradise served fried chicken and jazz until sunrise. The Lenox Lounge smelled like expensive tobacco and cheaper perfume. Women in satin dresses laughed on corners under flickering streetlights. Men in 3-piece suits played checkers on crates at 3 a.m. The Numbers runners moved through crowds like ghosts. A nod, a handshake, a folded slip of paper. Bets placed on 3 digits drawn from the day's stock exchange. It was illegal. It was survival. It was religion. Bumpy's office was a booth in the back of Dickie Wells's club, red leather seats, a single candle, a glass of Hennessy always full. He never drank it. It was a test. If someone reached for the glass without asking, they failed. Respect was the currency that mattered more than dollars. The violence in Harlem had a rhythm, a pattern. Disputes were settled at midnight, not in daylight. Bodies were found in alleys, not on main streets. There was a code. An unspoken agreement. You didn't bring war to the neighborhood. You brought it to the shadows. When Dutch Schultz's men started kidnapping Numbers runners in 1935, Bumpy didn't retaliate immediately. He waited, watched, learned their routes, their schedules, their habits. Then, one night, 6 of Dutch's enforcers vanished. No gunshots, no witnesses, no bodies ever found. The message was clear. Harlem protects its own. The Italians understood power. They understood fear, but they never understood loyalty built on love, not terror. Bumpy Johnson wasn't a king. He was a guardian. And when the Genovese family tried to frame him with Carmine's theft, they forgot that guardians don't fight fair. They fight final. When the lights go out in the Cotton Club basement, nobody panics immediately. Power outages happen, fuses blow, circuits fail, but after 5 seconds, someone fumbles for a lighter. The flame illuminates 12 faces. Confusion, suspicion, fear. Carmine Galante still holds the gun on Bumpy, but Bumpy's chair is empty. The zip ties dangle, cut clean. Where the hell? That's when they hear the voice. Come, close, everywhere. Carmine, your daughter is safe. I kept my word. The voice comes from the darkness. No direction, no source. But your bosses, they sent you here to die. One of the soldiers pulls his gun, fires twice at shadows. The muzzle flash lights up concrete walls, empty corners, nothing. Check the door, someone shouts in Italian. 2 men rush the exit, pull the handle. Locked from outside, they pound. They shout. No one answers. Carmine's voice cracks. Bumpy, what did you do? I gave you a choice. You can leave this room as my ally, or you can leave in pieces as their scapegoat. Someone finds a breaker box on the wall, flips the switch. The lights flicker back on, harsh fluorescent white. Bumpy stands in the center of the circle. No weapon, no backup, just him. But the 12 soldiers don't move, don't shoot, because on the table behind Bumpy sits a ledger, the Genovese family's ledger. The real one. The one that tracks every payment, every skim, every lie. Carmine's theft is in there. But so is something worse. The names of 3 capos who've been skimming for years. Amounts that make Carmine's theft look like pocket change. Your family sent you to kill me. Over $1,200 in liquor. But they've been stealing $12,000 a month from the commission. Bumpy slides the ledger across the table. Take it to Lucky Luciano. Tell him I found it in Vincent Gigante's car. Carmine stares at the ledger, his hand still shaking. Why are you giving me this? Because you're not a thief. You're a father. And I don't kill fathers who love their daughters. The room is silent except for someone's ragged breathing. Then Carmine lowers his gun. Slowly, deliberately. He picks up the ledger, tucks it under his arm. They'll come for you anyway. Bumpy pours himself the glass of Hennessy, takes one sip. Let them. Carmine signals his men. They holster their weapons. The door unlocks, from the outside, as if on cue. Bumpy had the key the entire time. Bumpy Johnson never needed to kill Carmine Galante. He needed Carmine to remember who spared him. Within a week, the ledger reached Lucky Luciano. Within 2 weeks, 3 Genovese capos disappeared. Vincent Gigante survived, but his power was crippled for a decade. The Genovese family never touched Bumpy again, not because they feared him, because they respected him. Respect earned through intelligence, through mercy, through code. Bumpy's philosophy was simple. Loyalty cannot be bought. It must be earned through action in the darkest moments. He never asked Carmine for repayment. He didn't need to. 5 years later, when Bumpy was arrested on a weapons charge, someone posted bail anonymously. 10 years later, when Bumpy's own daughter was sick, a specialist in Boston called offering free treatment. The code lived in silence, in debts repaid without words. In Harlem, they said Bumpy Johnson had 9 lives, but the truth was simpler. He made sure others lived first. And men who save lives earn more soldiers than men who take them. The night Carmine walked out of that basement, he told his men something. We don't talk about this, ever. But stories like that don't stay buried. They spread like smoke through Harlem's clubs and back rooms. They become legend. They become warning. They become power. So here's what I need you to tell me. If your daughter's life was on the line, would you steal? If you stole and someone saved her, would you kill for them? Bumpy Johnson built an empire on questions like these. He didn't rule through fear. He ruled through debt and gratitude. He understood something most gangsters never learn. Dead men can't spread your legend. Only the living can. That's why he always left one person breathing. One witness to tell the story. One survivor to carry the message. Carmine Galante became Bumpy's messenger without ever saying a word. And the Genovese family learned what Harlem already knew. You don't conquer a neighborhood by taking, you earn it by giving. Next time I'll tell you about the night Bumpy Johnson sat across from Lucky Luciano. 2 of the most dangerous men in America. 1 table, 1 bottle of whiskey, and a conversation that changed organized crime forever. Hit subscribe. Drop a comment. Tell me hero or villain, because in Harlem, Bumpy Johnson was both. And that's what made him immortal.